Hey everyone, I'm Miss Thamris. I don't know most of you. I teach psychology up in the G Wing, and I'm here to just kind of get you in the mindset for our speaker tomorrow. Before we do that, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. I'm the type of person who loves to talk to other people. I love to get to know anything about them, big stuff, small stuff. I just love to talk. My friends, my family, even my students make fun of me all the time because I always ask everybody what their story is. I just really like to hear what they have to say in response to that question. So today I'm going to pose the same question of you. What's your story? And does your story matter? If we're going to share the halls together over the next school year, I think it's really important to start to think about who we are and the factors that have influenced that, but also to realize that there are over 1,600 different stories here in this school. And we have to be really careful about the assumptions that we make about other people's stories. So to dig more into that, I'm a psych nerd, so I have a TED Talk. And this is a woman who has created one of the top 25 TED Talks of all times. And she's from Nigeria. And it's an 18-minute long clip. So if you're ever bored, the title is The Danger of a Single Story. But for you today, I've just cut a few of the clips and put them together. So just pay attention for the next 3 minutes. And there are going to be some questions that I'm asking you to just kind of think about as you're listening to this TED Talk. And you're not going to have to talk about them in class. You're not going to have to do anything with them. But I just would like you to kind of reflect on those questions. So here's the talk.
So that is how to create a single story. Show a people as one thing, as only one thing, over and over again, and that is what they become. It is impossible to talk about the single story without talking about power. There is a word, an Igbo word, that I think about whenever I think about the power structures of the world, and it is Nkali. It's a noun that loosely translates to be greater than another. Like our economic and political worlds, stories too are defined by the principle of Nkali. How they are told, who tells them, when they are told, how many stories are told, are really dependent on power. Power is the ability not just to tell the story of another person, but to make it the definitive story of that person. I recently spoke at a university where a student told me that it was such a shame that Nigerian men were physical abusers like the father character in my novel. I told him that I had just read a novel called American Psycho, and that it was such a shame that young Americans were serial murderers. Now, obviously, I said this in a fit of mild irritation, but it would never have occurred to me to think that just because I had read a novel in which a character was a serial killer, that he was somehow representative of all Americans. And now, this is not because I'm a better person than that student, but because of America's cultural and economic power, I had many stories of America. I had read Tyler and Updike and Steinbeck and Gateskill. I did not have a single story of America. All of these stories make me who I am. But to insist on only these negative stories is to flatten my experience and to overlook the many other stories that formed me. The single story creates stereotypes. And the problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete. They make one story become the only story. The consequence of the single story is this: it robs people of dignity. It makes our recognition of our equal humanity difficult. It emphasizes how we are different rather than how we are similar. Stories matter. Many stories matter. Stories have been used to dispossess and to malign, but stories can also be used to empower and to humanize. Stories can break the dignity of a people, but stories can also repair that broken dignity. I would like to end with this thought, that when we reject the single story, when we realize that there is never a single story about any place, we regain a kind of paradise. Thank you.
So I love words. I want to circle back to some of those quick. She said, "The single story creates stereotypes, and the problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete. They make one story the only story. Stories matter. Many stories matter. When we reject the single story, when we realize that there is never a single story about a place, we regain a kind of paradise." So what does this have to do with tomorrow? As we look to help build community amongst you guys as students and hopefully alongside us as staff, I just want you guys to know that there's no right way to do it. There's no single speaker, there's no great book or anything like that that has all of the answers. So we just felt it was really important to take a step. And I really believe that taking a step in any direction is better than taking no step at all. So this is ours. We really hope that you're able to take just one thing from Ed's presentation tomorrow that you might apply throughout the school year to help you have a great school year. Thanks so much, and we'll see you there tomorrow.